And away we go, picking every game against the spread. Only two teams on byes this week, the Colts and the Saints. Got some really big-time matchups. Seahawks and Rams for first place in the NFC West. Chiefs at Broncos on CBS. NFL Today crew will be there. And Kyle Long has overtaken Pete Prisco for picks this season after an 11-4 week.
Nice week.
Blind squirrel.
Yeah, nice week.
Blind squirrel. But hey, it's nice to be up above 500 again. It's nice to be in contention with the great Pete Prisco again. And here we are another week.
And best bets. Bring those
not
up.
so much.
Hey, I hit mine. Can't wait to see what the producer.
What was my best bet? The Bills? You know, what the hell happened?
That was
Yikes.
terrible.
Chris Hassel, Kyle Long, Pete Prisco. Let's hit it with a huge spread to kick off the week on Thursday. The Patriots are rolling right now. They're going for an 8th straight win hosting the Jets, but laying 11.5 at home.
Yeah, this number should be higher. I mean, the Jets won a game.
Jets just won.
They won a game where the receivers caught a grand total of 3 passes for 9 yards. I mean, you can't win consistently in this league that way. And the Patriots playing great football. Now, the one concern, and we talked about this with other teams, the Bills being one of them, you get up so high, and that was a big game last week, a prove-it game for them against the Bucs. Now, do you come back down? I don't think so. I think the fact that this Jets team is so bad, I think that no matter how poorly they play, they'll find a way to win this game. So I love what I've seen from this team. And they're going to win 10 straight. If you look at their schedule before the bye
week, and then they're going to get Buffalo at home.
Right.
They're going to be fully functional.
Are they going to win the division?
Yes.
Game and a half up now.
The AFC will go through New England.
Right.
Again.
It's going through Foxborough.
What decade are we in?
Right. Think about that.
That's
unbelievable.
Look at this schedule. Look at this schedule now. The next 3 weeks before the bye. You see a loss there?
Probably not.
Okay. Then they get the Bills, then the Ravens. That's tough. And then you get the Jets and the Dolphins. So worst case scenario, even if they lost to the Bills and the Ravens, they're going to have the number 1 seed in the conference.
Ahead of schedule, certainly, this Patriots team, but the way they've been explosive offensively and just the guys that step up for this team. You're watching Mac Hollins just run by guys this past Sunday. I love this Patriots team. They're a lot of fun. Give me the Patriots, and to your point, the number ain't big enough.
No.
As of right now, the Patriots would be the 3 seed. They're in a 3-way tie at the top with the Colts, who have the 1 seed as of now. The Broncos, 8-2 as well.
With all that explosive offense they put on the field.
But you seem to like the Patriots more than
I do.
than any of those teams, and like them to cover the big number to start the week on Thursday. Sunday, we have another game early in the morning.
This will be fun.
Across the pond. This is in Spain. Commanders and Dolphins. Commanders free-falling. Mike McDaniel's feeling himself again. The Dolphins just blow out the Buffalo Bills, but can it last?
Oh, I think it lasts in this game.
Yep.
And look, we could talk all we want about Jaden Daniels not being there. That's not the problem with this team. The defense is awful. I mean, it's like you playing air. The Lions had, everybody raves about Dan Campbell coming over and taking over play calling. He was playing air. I mean, they don't stop anybody. They can't stop the run. They don't play well in the secondary, and they give up. They don't have anybody who can rush the passer. They give up a lot of big plays. Miami showed something last week. He showed some fight. Give Mike McDaniel credit for that. He deserves that. They will win this game. I think Tua will play well here. How could he not? They're playing on air. HM will have some big runs. I like Miami.
I love Miami in this spot, and I think about
best bet, maybe. A
what
little hint down the road, maybe.
What has transpired these past couple weeks with leadership in that building, and my old friend Champ Kelly is now the interim GM, and I was texting with him, and the two things that he was stressing was accountability and energy, and I saw energy from this football team. You've seen these teams get up on the Bills before, and then the Bills find a way to come back. It's like watching an action movie, and the superhero is always Josh Allen. He always comes back and wins the fight. The Dolphins never let him have a chance. They pounded the rock, dude. Patrick Paul, Brewer, the center. They were bullying people in that football game. Keep giving H.N. the football, and good things happen.
Your name dropped right there, too.
Love Champ Kelly. By the way, love Champ Kelly.
Commanders this week, then the Saints, then the Jets. They also have the Bengals on the schedule. Can Mike McDaniel save his job?
Maybe. I didn't think it was possible.
It required a game like we saw this past weekend to even have him be into consideration.
I think it's a great sign, by the way, and I've been Mike McDaniel's biggest critic of anybody, but I think it's a great sign that they responded. because they could have folded up and gone home.
100%.
And he was definitely out, and they didn't. They responded against good teams. Now, build on it. If they do that and then they start going back down and not playing very well, then of course he's going to get fired. But that's a great sign for Mike McDaniel.
Commanders have lost 3 straight games by 21 plus. No team has ever done that.
They're just outmatched
4
defensively.
times.
You play air against them. That's how bad that defense is. That's like when you work against air.
So people at home that don't know, when they do routes on air, it's literally a receiver out there running against nobody. And then offense on air is like what we do in the walkthrough. You pretend like you're blocking somebody. That's kind of what it's like playing the Commanders.
How is Toast Lattimore?
He's hurt. So
and Deron Payne's out.
Yeah, their players aren't very good, and it's a problem. And Dan Quinn's taking heat for this now because he's a defensive guy.
All right, that is 9:30 a.m. from Spain on Sunday, and right during that game, Kyle, you're gonna have to cross your eyes again.
Some live updates.
Yeah.
You watch it. You watch that game.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm looking right over Matt Ryan's
You
shoulder.
put all that brain energy into half of your head.
You were beer stein holding for the Germany game this week. How long did you hold that thing up?
I held it for one segment, and then I put it down at the end of the segment.
Take
the
a
guy
sip.
we had on there, his name was Bob, and he's the record holder. He held the stein, 5 pounds, by the way, 24 minutes.
How long do you think you could have gone?
6, 7 minutes. Both
Really?
my shoulders are dust, though.
Right.
There's nothing left of
Let
there.
Pete give it a shot.
I gave my shoulders at the lakefront in Chicago.
Get a little stein and hold it for a while. Yeah.
Early games on CBS. Couple of teams.
There it is. Oh wow, that was a real long one right there.
Couple teams that need a win. Bucks, Bills, 2 6-3 teams coming off losses, disappointing losses. The Chargers looking to get to 8-3 against a reeling Jacksonville team. And the Steelers are hosting the Bengals. Remember what happened last time those two teams played? A crazy game. That's the only game the Bengals have won since the Joe Burrow injury. We'll dive into it with the Bucks and the Bills. Which team, Pete, is in worse shape injury-wise right now?
It's close.
Yeah.
It's close. Both of them have dealt with a bunch of injuries. And look, they've done a nice job navigating them. But if you're the Bills and you lose on the road to Miami, a team you've owned,
and lose like they did.
Look, they turned the ball over. There were opportunities. Cook fumbled and Allen fumbled. There were opportunities to get back in the game, and they didn't do that. This team will respond. I believe that. I think they will respond in this game. You're at home. The Bucs are going back out on the road. I think this is one of those situations where you're getting a team that's angry, frustrated, and they get back home. I think they need to get back to being Josh Allen again. And, at some point last week I said, they're going to give the cape back to him and he's going to go become Josh Allen. It never happened. And I think they've got caught up. Like much of this league, by the way. These coordinators are scared. And I can't stand it.
Of what?
Scared of turning the ball over, scared of their quarterback making mistakes, scared of
putting their quarterback in harm's way.
Right. Instead of dictating to defenses, they're allowing defenses to dictate to them. And not just in Buffalo. And I think Joe Brady's a good coordinator. He's got to get back to throwing the ball around. And people will say, well, does he have any weapons? There are enough weapons. You can figure it out. You don't have a deep speed guy, but you can figure it out. Get back to being Josh Allen throwing the football around.
You know what's nice about having the football in a guy like Josh Allen's hands, a guy like Lamar Jackson's hands? You change the numbers defensively. When you put it in somebody else's hands at the beginning of the play, your best player is now out of it, and you're playing 10 on 11 for the defense. Get Josh Allen the football in his hand, opportunity to drop back, maybe scramble it. When they're in tight situations and sketchy waters, Josh Allen's the captain that gets him out of those things. So to your point, I agree, more Josh Allen. I don't think the Bucs will win this game, but I think they will cover the 5.5 points. Give me the Bucs here.
And I got the Bills. And you know how I feel about the Bucs. I just think this one, if you look at the division races, this one means more to Buffalo than it does to the Bucs. The Bucs, look, no matter what they do, they're going to win that division. You look at the rest of those teams, they're not very good. So I think Buffalo needs this game more.
He doesn't want to lose 2 in a row. That guy right there,
No,
Baker
he doesn't.
Mayfield. Pete and I were upstairs talking with some of the guys behind camera, and we were talking about quarterbacks, toughness, things you look for. Both these guys, Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield, they're pissed off for a win this week.
Yep. Baker Mayfield's numbers back that up. He's 17-8 against the spread as an underdog since he joined that team.
I'm bucking trends.
Tampa Bay
And
Buccaneers.
he goes out on the road and
I'm
wins.
a trend bucker.
Hey, he goes out on
So
the road.
even if the Bills
Trend
lose,
bucker.
Pete, you're not. I'm sorry, the Bucs. Even if they lose, you're not worried.
That division's
about them.
over. The thing with the Bucs is, I think the division race is over. But also, I think the chance to get the number 1 seed might be over. So they're going to be somewhere in between.
Okay, that one, CBS, 1 o'clock Eastern time. Also in that window, it's the Chargers -2.5 against the Jags. Jacksonville just blew a 19-point fourth quarter
Inexcusable
lead.
to Davis Mills, by the way.
And it's kind of a coincidence they're playing the Chargers for the first time since they basically did that to the Chargers in the playoffs a few years ago.
And I said this the other day. I said, well, you know what Trevor Lawrence needs to do? If I was coaching him this week, I'd get out that tape from that game and I'd say, watch the second half and see how you played. You haven't played like that since. And it's time you started to. He's not playing well. The offensive line, he got brutalized last week. That's a good defense he faced. The Chargers defense played better. They're not in that class. But more than that, Jacksonville can't rush the passer. Davis Mills had a play last week where he stood there for a half hour and he found Dalton Schultz in the back of the end zone. That's a problem when you play Herbert, and I think it's going to be a problem in this game. I think Jacksonville's – it'll be interesting to see how they respond after that loss. I mean, you blow a 19-point lead in the fourth quarter to Davis Mills. How do you respond to that? I'm curious to see. I don't think they'd respond very well. I think Herbert's a better quarterback right now than Trevor Lawrence. I think that shows up.
I think Herbert's a better quarterback, and I think that Chargers football team have a better coach and somebody who's got his group more focused. And you can see it from the Chargers. We've seen monumental injuries time after time this season, particularly on the offensive line for the Chargers. But with Justin Herbert's skills, his star power, Jim Harbaugh's, just no nonsense, head straight forward. This Chargers team has handled business. I anticipate them handling business against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Look, you sink to the level of your preparation and your culture. They have a culture of toughness in LA. It's because of Jim Harbaugh. And like you said, they don't have Justin Herbert on the other sideline this week.
No.
Chargers have an 81% chance to make the playoffs according to Sportsline. Jacksonville, just a 34%.
By the way, they would be in if the playoffs started.
They would, over the Chiefs.
As crazy as that sounds, they would be in.
It's still in position and have that head-to-head win over Kansas City. All right, Bengals and Steelers, and Pittsburgh looks up, and all of a sudden that lead in the division is down to 1, and you're playing a team that just walked all over you the last time you played them.
It's been tough to play defense in Pittsburgh, right? Being consistent defensively.
They've been better, though.
Being consistent defensively.
Yes.
With the amount of money those guys are paid defensively for the Pittsburgh Steelers, you should be stellar week in, week out. Okay, that should be the group you set your watch to. Haven't been able to do it. What have we been able to set our watch to? The Bengals offense being violently explosive week in, week out. That is who I'm going to roll with this week. I got the Bengals with the 5.5 going their way.
Jamar Chase had 16 receptions in that game on 23 targets. And Pete, was that the worst showing by Aaron Rodgers last week
since
he's been a Steeler?
Yeah, it was bad. And we were talking about this off air as well. When the offense was going well, the defense was really playing poorly. The defense has started playing better, and the offense is now having problems. So I still think when you look at, we talk about playing air. The Bengals defense is kind of playing against air too, and I think that's the worst unit on the field. And when you get to the worst unit, I'll take Rodgers against the worst unit. I'm going to take the Steelers. I think they find a way to regroup here.
Steelers 51% chance to make
I like the over.
Loose?
Yeah, it's going to get loose.
Loose!
Wow, really loose.
Yeah.
You like the loose. You like it too.
It'll be loosey-goosey.
It'll be loosey.
5 straight Bengals games have gone over the total. The average 67 points per game.
About, baby.
67.
And what's the over/under on this game?
Not like that
49.
game we
It's not
watched
that
last
high.
night.
Yeah, 49.5.
Not that high
for this game. Those are the games on CBS. Looking at some of the other 1 o'clock Eastern time games.
Ooh.
Your Chicago Bears.
Your Green Bay Packers.
Ooh. What the hell's going on with the Packers? They're 7.5-point favorites against the Giants. Texans showing life. They're not out of it. They've got a game they should win in Tennessee, and the Falcons at home against the Panthers. Let's start with the first place Chicago Bears tied for first in the division.
Is that real?
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm getting confirmation. That is real.
He touched his right ear again.
I didn't take it out. I was just confirming with the truck.
It's incredible. They continue to win games late, games that look like are a lost cause. My dad turned the game off.
And, I think the biggest difference here, obviously Caleb Williams has made some strides, and the offensive line's a different looking group than it was last year, but it's Ben Johnson getting his guys to be on the same page and finding a way to not shoot themselves in the foot. We saw this offense last year put the team in position to have wins, and they couldn't figure it out as a team. They found a way to just trip over themselves, throw up all over their shirt. That's not the case this year. And I know Jackson Dart came out, Russell Wilson came in, and then the comeback started. But there is value in a young quarterback like Caleb Williams finding a way at the end of the game to go and win the game for his team. Do just enough to go get the win. He did it with his legs, did it with his arm, last year and this year. But this year's team, they're finding ways to win games, and I think that's Ben Johnson.
So you got the Bears.
Give me the Bears.
By the way, your dad turned the game off. What do you have, a field to plow or something in Iowa?
Yeah, he said top 10 worst sports weekend of my life because Iowa lost to your Oregon Ducks in the last second, and then he was watching the Bears just get clobbered by a bad Giants team, and then boom, 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 here they come.
So out to the cornfield.
Next thing you know, he's in the John Deere.
Is that what it was? He's on that.
Shout out to all the Iowans, particularly the Bears.
Little
fans
loose
in
meat
Iowa.
sandwich and then out to the field. There we go.
What do you think, Pete? The Lions? No, you think the Bears are going to win?
I think the Bears are going to win.
Ooh, I don't. I think the Vikings will win this game. I think that defense is going to get after Caleb Williams, and you know what Flores does. He does a bunch of different things that cause problems. I don't think the Bears' defense is playing that well.
They're not great. They have the right defensive coordinator.
Yes.
They don't have all the right guys.
No,
and they're not
they do
healthy.
not.
They're not healthy on
Right.
defense.
I think. Look, J.J. McCarthy was not good last week, and he's got to learn how to, when he stands in there, not to jump when he throws. I think that would be a good idea as well.
Quarterbacks are doing that.
It's weird. It's
Real
weird.
jump, Bryce Young.
The mechanics are terrible. The mechanics have waned. Well, he needs to
I
jump.
think I got him a stool out there.
Yeah, he needs to jump. That'd be like me playing quarterback. I would need to jump. But I'm gonna take the Vikings. I think they bounce back here and play well.
Interesting division there with the 3 teams with 3 losses. The Packers have that tie, but it's the Bears and Lions tied at the top of the division. Packers are a half game back because of that tie. They're 7.5-point favorites at the Giants, who fired Brian Dable. Mike Kafka, the OC, is the interim head coach.
And he might be the real head coach.
He's interviewed for a lot of jobs over the last 3 years.
And if he does well and handles the quarterback, that's the most important thing. And I think that led to Brian Dable being fired. He didn't handle the quarterback very well. You running him late in games when they're blowouts, and he has been looked at for 4 concussions. You got to protect that guy. He's reckless. Jackson Dart plays reckless football. I mean, you got to give it to him.
And I love it.
He's got to change that, though.
I love
You know
every
that.
minute of it.
You know he's got to change it.
He's got to change it.
He'll change it, and he'll ultimately learn to stand in the pocket and make the throws. But again, Kafka can keep that job. I don't think this is a great spot for Kafka. You're playing that defense, who we saw what they did to the Eagles on Monday night, and now they travel. They're desperate. They got to get back on track. I think they find a way to do that. One quick note about the Packers. Please throw on first down once in a while. I mean, my God, everybody's criticizing Jordan Love, and rightfully so. He didn't play great. But when you go run, go make a play, and your offensive line isn't holding up, you're never going to look good throwing the football. I think they play way too conservatively, and they need to get back to playing free and loose. You make mistakes, you make mistakes. Remember how many mistakes Brett Favre made? He made a ton of them, but he also made a lot of big plays. Get back to playing free and loose. This league, they've all gotten so conservative. Please stop it. Throw the damn football around.
As it pertains to the New York Giants, and I know we're doing a this weekend conversation, I think they will get a lot out of their guys. I think Kafka's a guy that you can rally behind. I played for the Chiefs, and Kafka was there as the quarterback coach. And it's important to point out that the issues with Jackson Dart, who do you think that they can point to on film and say, we need you to be more like this guy? Because Jackson Dart can do what? He can make the throws. He's on time. He plays with No, I'm just talking about the movement/throwing archetype.
Mahomes.
And what have they done to Mahomes? They've said, you are a thrower of the football. Right. If you need to move with your legs to extend the passing plays, do that. I think Kafka is a guy that can get through to him and just plaster the screen with Patrick Mahomes. And
makes sense.
Try your best to become this guy, because the version of quarterback you're playing is not sustainable.
Yeah, just don't become Dominic Raiola and try and actually be him.
Don't go out there with the mohawk and all that stuff.
You're talking about Nebraska's quarterback,
What's his
Dylan
Raiola? What's his father was Dominic
Yeah,
Raiola.
so Donovan and Dominic were, father and uncle. I played with one of them. The other one was in Detroit.
Yeah.
Bad boys.
Yeah,
Bad
tough.
boys.
Well, and he got hurt, too. He's out for the season.
Yeah. But he tried
He's
to
a
be
method
Mahomes.
actor. He was Daniel Day-Lewising a little too much.
Let's go to the Texans and Titans.
By the way, I didn't pick that game.
Oh, you haven't picked it yet?
I've got the Packers.
I got the Packers.
Okay, Packers. Texans, Titans, same number here, 7.5. And it's, again, the road team that's favored. Texans only a game out of the last wild card spot after that 0-3 start, Pete.
Yeah, and give the credit to that defense. That defense is nasty. I mean, across the board, they can rush the passer. They cover on the back end. They get after the quarterback. They got after Trevor Lawrence last week. Davis Mills played good football, and we don't know if Stroud's going to be back at this moment. He probably will be. I would assume he's going to be. I mean, it was a week. But if he's not, then Mills played. He played well. Really threw the football well at the end of the game. I like the Titans in the spot. This is a big number. I just think going out on the road, you're at Tennessee. These teams, you've seen weird games between these teams at times. I think this will be a weird game. I think the Titans hang around. They're not going to win the game, but they're going to hang around.
It was only 6-0 going into the fourth quarter the first time these two teams played, and then Houston
a little bit of a
opened
snowball fight.
Yeah.
Right.
If C.J. Stroud's back, which is what I'm assuming, I'm going to be picking the Houston Texans. To your point, if it is Davis Mills, 7.5, it's a big number. It's a big number. But I'm going to stick with the Texans. It's early in the week. I think C.J. will be back.
I mean, the Titans need to play better on offense. Cam Ward's got to start picking it up.
This ain't the team. This ain't the team you start playing.
No, but even if you don't, you just have to look better. Even if you're not putting up big numbers, you got to look better.
Nobody looks good standing across from Daniil Hunter. Let me tell you that.
Oh, he killed the
Jaguars.
Jaguars.
Look at this mismatch. Titans offense on the right, Texans defense on the left. It's worst versus first in a lot of categories. All right, Panthers and Falcons. We talked about Bryce Young a little bit, jumping to throw the ball. How do you figure out either one of these teams? Seems like these are the two most inconsistent teams in football.
Yeah, and so much skill in Atlanta on the offensive side of the ball in particular, but it's that defense that's really taken them to the next step. A lot of questions about the defense coming into the year, but they've gotten a ton of production out of their young guys. That's what's kept them in football games. But if this offense can just not trip over themselves, find a way to get Bijan the ball, find a way to get Drake London the ball, you've got weapons all over the field. That should be the formula. I'm going to be picking the Falcons in this spot just because I think it's who's the better team, and in my opinion, they have better players in Atlanta. So I'm going to go Atlanta.
Yeah, I think Atlanta's the pick here as well. Michael Penix needs to pick up his play, too. The accuracy issues are a problem for him. You got guys on in breakers, and he's throwing it back behind them, and you can't do that in this league. You got to put it and anticipate it and put it where it needs to be to get some big plays. So I think he needs to play better. But on the other side, Bryce Young, I think we had a stat the other day where he hasn't thrown over 200 yards in like 6 straight games. I mean, he threw for 125 yards last week on 17 completions, I think it was. That's ultimately dinking and dunking. I mean, that's terrible. And I just don't think right now he's a very good quarterback. I'll take the Falcons. I think and you're right about the inconsistency. This team goes to Green Bay and wins, and then you come home and you lose to the Saints.
By double digits?
I mean, it's terrible.
Shuck.
Yeah, he looked pretty good, Shuck.
Dude can play.
One can spin it, big guy, strong guy, and the other one's a little guy that threw for 124 yards.
Yeah, Young has only gone over 200 yards once, and it was week 2 at Arizona.
And what do you have last week, 124?
124 on 17 of 25.
That's ridiculous.
The formula to beating the Falcons team that is inconsistent offensively is to establish some sort of ground game, keep the offense on the sideline for the Falcons, and force them to pick up in a good spot. It's tough when you're not on the field to go out there and get that momentum and figure out how you're feeling. But if they're running the football, that's tough for the Falcons. That's tough.
All right, both on the Atlanta Falcons to win and cover the 3.5 at home. That closes out the 1 p.m. window on Sunday, recapping the picks from the fellers. Like the Chargers minus 2.5 in Jacksonville against the Jags. Those are the CBS games.
I like that we don't agree.
You do agree on Packers minus 7.5 at the Giants and the Falcons minus 3.5 at home against the Panthers.
I'm either going like straight flush down the toilet this week, like a swirl. I'm going to get caught in that, or I'm going to be really good.
Or a straight flush like on the poker table.
Yeah, it's like flush the toilet or poker straight flush. You got one or the other.
Flush.
So I'm either really good or I'm.
You were really bad last week.
Got to call the plumber.
You've had a couple bad weeks in a row. I think you're due, Pete. Hey, how about this late window? Man, we've got the Chiefs Broncos. NFL Today are going to be there. Seahawks Rams. Those two teams battling for the 1 seed in the NFC, not just
football
the
heaven
NFC
right
West
there.
title. But we're going to jump into it with the Chiefs and Broncos. Kansas City favored by 3.5 on the road against a Denver team that's having a tough time scoring offensively, but they continue to win. This doesn't seem like a game they can win if they're playing like that. It also seems like a game Kansas City has to win.
Not to mention Andy Reid off a bye. His record
good.
off a bye is fantastic. And look, when I watch the Denver Broncos, I'm worried about Bo Nix. He's frenetic. His feet are all out of sync. He misses a lot of deep throws. There's no rhythm in the offense. And they have a concern on their hands. And I don't know if Sean Payton would admit that now, but he should, because they got a problem. And Sean Payton is a quarterback guy. If anybody can fix it, he's the guy who could fix it. But so far, he hasn't fixed it yet. So I'm concerned about that. And I think the Chiefs, look, they're coming off that loss at Buffalo. They had a bye week. They can regroup. And they know where they stand in this thing. They have to start winning football games. If they don't start winning games, they're not even going to be a playoff team. So this is the time you turn it on. The Chiefs' defense will play well against Bo Nix. Patrick Mahomes, I know the Broncos are really good in defense, but I think Mahomes will play well. I'm going to take the Chiefs minus the points.
The season doesn't usually start for the Kansas City Chiefs until, let's call it, just after Thanksgiving. The season has started for the Kansas City Chiefs. They need to get some stuff done. I think it happens. Look, you're going to have to score points if you want to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, and they've got guys who can put points on the scoreboard. Give me the Chiefs.
Sportsline, even though they're not in the postseason, giving the Chiefs a 75.5% chance to make it. That number would drop probably below 60% if they don't win this game.
This is an enormous game for them because they'd be behind two teams, way behind two teams in the division if the Chargers win this week. And you look around the AFC and they might not even be a wild card.
And I'm going to whisper this part because I could get yelled at for it. The Broncos have a better O and D line than the Chiefs. So it's going to come down to the quarterback. That's why I'm picking Kansas
Quarterback
City.
scales?
Yeah. They tip it.
Are you kidding me?
And that's why, I mean,
You know
I rave about this Broncos O-line.
I think the Chiefs.
You know the
offensive
defensive
line
line's great.
I think the Chiefs' offensive line is every bit as good as the Broncos.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
All right.
I mean, the two best players, of all the linemen, the two best are the center and the right guard for the Chiefs, are they not?
Yeah, well, they got a tackle and a guard in Denver that are pretty darn good at it.
And they got I still think the Chiefs are better.
Pete, when you played guard in high school,
agree on Patrick.
What did you weigh?
165 pounds.
Hell yeah.
What did you weigh when you played in high school?
280.
Did you?
Times have changed.
I guarantee your dad didn't weigh 280 when he
No,
played.
he was 240. He couldn't afford to be 280.
NFL Today on site for this game?
You kidding me? NFL Today will be in Denver. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
And I interviewed Billy Bob Thornton for this weekend's broadcast. So check it out if you're interested.
He's a big football fan.
Big football fan.
Big football fan.
Landman.
Guy.
Yeah.
Landman.
Back.
Love Landman.
Back on
now. Paramount Plus.
Love Landman.
Yeah, I love it.
Landman.
I told him, I was like, I want to drive a big truck with a cowboy hat.
Yeah. And act just like him.
Come on.
He doesn't drink anymore, just Miller Lite, and there's no alcohol in that, right? Ravens and Browns.
He's a Michelob Ultra guy, I think.
Oh, Mick Ultra, that's what it is. Yeah.
That is alcohol.
Clearly he doesn't watch the show. Ravens minus 8.5 against the Browns. Don't look now, Peter. Ravens only a game out of first place.
Yeah.
They've won 3 in a row.
And here they come.
Yep.
And you know they're coming. The Steelers know they're coming. Everybody knows they're coming. Lamar Jackson's back. And the defense is playing better. You look at that defense, they were bad early in the season.
Roquan woke up.
He woke up. He looks like he leaned up a little bit.
Yep.
He woke up. You know, the rest of that defense is all woke up. So I think that's the biggest difference. But you get Lamar back. You get the bump. They're still not running it the way they normally would with Henry. I think they can get that going. But this is one of those games when you look at it and you go, okay, that defense of the Browns will keep them in the game.
It's amazing.
Back-to-back road games.
It's amazing, dude, how we had this Ravens, I'm not going to say buried, but we had him in the backyard, right, in the sick bay for a while. And now
I kept asking, like, how are they minus money to win the division?
Well, you had to
They're
look at
down
the schedule.
3.5 games. Yeah, and you kept saying, look at the schedule. Look to the schedule.
Yeah.
Look to the schedule, and here they are.
It's amazing, and the fact that Lamar, has come back out there and looked like himself. He had, not an extremely explosive, highlight-laden game last week, but you look at the stat line, you look at the game, you're like, oh, Lamar looks like himself. And to your point, the defense is coming along, and that's what made this Ravens team so special. I know they can run the football and throw it all around the yard, but the defense plays a brand of football that's just tough to match from an intensity standpoint when they're playing their game, and I think they're coming along. They're starting to play their version of football.
Yeah, I think the Browns will hang around with their defense. The defense was dominant last week against the Jets, and they just had returns that cost them the game. Here's the other thing about the Ravens. for the last couple of years, it's always been, oh, how great they are in the regular season. Look at the numbers Lamar's putting up. He's MVP, da-da-da-da. Well, that's not the case this year. Would it shock you if they go on a little run, get in the postseason, and everybody says, okay, here we go. It's the exact opposite of what we've done in the past, and we're going to make this Super Bowl run now after not playing as well during the regular season. It wouldn't surprise me because I think they get caught. They've been victims of playoff-itis. And by that I mean when you lose tough playoff games, you got to start all over again. And you start all over again.
There's nothing worse than that.
Right. And you start all over again in every little game. And sometimes you get upset. You get injuries, you get upset. But now I think they're regrouping. And I think when they get into the postseason, and they will, they're going to be one of the most dangerous teams in the entire
Remember last year we said if the Bengals get in,
right.
that's the team nobody wants to see. Everybody's looking at that team with purple on and saying, I hope those sons of Bucks don't get in.
Right.
Because we can't defend that guy, and there's no answer for Kyle Hamilton picking the center and Roquan Smith chasing and tackling everything. Pete's right.
Sportsline, since we're giving out percentages for a lot of these AFC teams, 58% chance.
But I do like the
Ravens
Browns
making
this week to cover. They're not going to
So
win.
you're
but
telling me
they'll
there's a chance.
Okay, Pete, now to the Seattle Seahawks, who you always seem to pick against. Huge game at 4:05 Eastern Time. Seahawks at Rams. Rams are 2.5-point favorites. The winner of this game is in first place by themselves and the hottest team in the NFC.
The Seahawks are the best team in the league right now, in my eyes. I really believe that.
NFL? Best team in the
league.
entire NFL.
The league, Craig.
Team in the league. They can do everything you need a team to do. They can throw it deep. He leads the league in yards per attempt. They don't run it as well as they have in the past.
10 yards per attempt, bro.
They're starting to run it. They're starting to run it a little bit more and getting consistency. They have weapons on the outside, but more than that, they have a nasty pass rush. And we go back to those old Seattle teams, and everybody always talked about the guys on the back end, the Legion of Boom.
No, it was Cliff Averill, it was Meebane, it was Michael Bennett, it was those jokers.
They were the focal point of the defense, and they were what made them so good. And this defensive line is nasty. Last week, 2 touchdowns for DeMarcus Lawrence. They got after the quarterback. They turned him over. And in this spot, what month is this? Oh, it's November. In December yet. So Sam Darnold can still play better than
Still
that.
haven't turned it into a
I
pumpkin.
was waiting for him to catch a stray here.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, if we play this game in the playoffs, I'm probably going to take Matt Stafford over Sam Darnold. But it's in the regular season, so I'm going to take the Seahawks because I think they're the better team right now than the Rams, and I'll take Seattle.
Seahawks to win?
Yes.
Man, the Rams, though, are doing offensively every bit as good. I mean, Matthew Stafford could say he's the MVP right now.
He is the
Stafford's
MVP.
blowing teams out offensively. He's been consistent. He is the MVP of the National Football League right now. Pete's a sick freak, but he's right. I'm going to be picking the Seahawks this week as well. Give me some, buddy.
We're both on Seattle. See,
They've
Russell
earned
Wilson
it.
all
I'm
those
glad
years.
you brought up Tank Lawrence because this is a guy that when he signed with the Seahawks this offseason, I said, yeah, he's not going to be healthy. You know, there's some guys that get signed that are vets, and you're like, well, I hope he does stay. He's been really good for them, and I think it's part of being in that room with all those sharks that Mike McDonald has accumulated in Seattle. Fun to watch. They have a great identity and a real chemistry, it feels like, and they beat the hell out of football teams.
They're nasty. Byron Murphy is having an unreal season at defensive tackle for them as well. And look, Iman Wari now comes in there. He plays the role, the Kyle Hamilton role. They just have so much versatility on that defense. And the only thing that worries me about the Rams, the corners worry me a little bit, but speed. And Atwell's hurt. And so where do you go for speed? You can play him in a phone booth a little bit. I know both those receivers are good, but they're not fast.
Stafford's putting up crazy numbers. First player in NFL history with 4+ passing touchdowns and 0 picks in 3 straight games. Clearly, you guys don't think that's going to happen a 4th consecutive game. What would you say his
It could happen. Hey,
you think so?
That could totally happen, but I think the Seahawks will win the football game.
Wow, you think it's going to be high scoring? You're going to get loose.
Well, I know one thing. You can't bottle up Matt Stafford.
No.
Okay?
But if you hit him, you can.
Yeah, but that he's going to get his too, and he always does.
Yeah, he's a great player. He's the MVP right now, if you had to vote. And but I just think that Seattle defense is going to limit. I think both sides will be limited by the defensive front. They're both good on the front, by the way. The Rams are good up front too.
These are the top 2 teams in Pete's power rankings this week at CBSSports.com. Seahawks 1, Rams 2. 49ers on the road in Arizona. Now they've been beaten, battered, and bruised. But they've got a very manageable next month. Beginning with this Cardinals game, they have the Panthers, they have the Browns, they have the Titans.
And they also are playing a Jacoby Brissett, who came back to reality a little bit.
With all these quarterbacks, they're just putting up crazy numbers that you think are done.
But he turned the ball over twice last week for touchdowns. I mean, like I was arguing with Jamie Eisenberg that last week. He said, "Oh, great fantasy day."
It was.
He gave up 2 touchdowns to the opposing
very
team.
Much for an INT.
It's crazy. It's crazy. That's why fantasy football, sometimes you got to have a hard time figuring it out. So, look, I don't think Brissett's going to keep that up. I think the 49ers, look, their defense, they're down men. We know that. But they play hard. They play tough. Robert Saleh can call a good game. I think it's going to make problems for Jacoby Brissett. And Mac Jones is playing good football. I have to give it to him.
He played great this past week.
He's throwing the ball around, and you have McCaffrey. And I think McCaffrey's the X factor. You get him the ball all over the field. I think the 49ers win the game.
Yeah, give me the 49ers. Well put there. And for the Cardinals, so much hope at the beginning of the season, so much promise with that roster, and they have seemingly just threw up on their shirt.
Well, their next question is, what are you going to do at quarterback going
Boy.
forward? I mean, you got decisions to make there. Was Murray benched or not? Or was it a soft benching, or is he hurt? And then after the fact he's hurt? I mean, who knows? But the reality is it sounds like they've made a decision on him for the future, at least in my mind.
In the NFC right now, the 1 seed belongs to the Philadelphia Eagles after what they did this past week. We're going to pick that game in just a minute as we recap the picks from the guys in the late afternoon window. A couple of huge games. Chiefs, Broncos, CBS agreeing on Kansas City -3.5 in a game they really do need to win.
And Cleveland and Baltimore, they always play tough.
Yeah, it's physical. Why didn't you take the Browns in the 8th at halftime?
Because I love Lamar Jackson.
All right, let's move to
You
the...
just went against yourself.
No, I'm just saying, historically speaking.
He wants to change his pick.
No.
Sunday nighter, Lions at Eagles, Jalen Hurts, and the Eagles didn't do much offensively, but they seem to
They
have...
cheated on the tush push a couple times. That was fun to watch. Can we say that here?
They win a game in Green
Oh,
Bay.
we're out. They cheated.
They seem to have it back on track. They would right now be the 1 seed in the NFC, and this is basically a pick-em. They are a 1.5 favorite at home against Detroit.
So basically what the lines maker is telling you that they think the Lions are a better football team
Yeah.
than the Eagles.
Yeah.
Do you? Do you?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
Well, I don't necessarily.
But the
agree with
Eagles
that.
have been to the top of the mountain.
Right.
And
the Lions
they've slayed the dragon.
haven't learned how to get there yet.
So, while sure, I would probably pick the Lions in Madden because I would enjoy throwing to all those guys and running the football effectively. The Philadelphia Eagles are going to beat the hell out of you at the line of scrimmage. The question about the Lions recently has been their inability to run the football inside, and they've had to get Jared Goff throwing in more traditional setting, not that play action, balls out quick. They're not as dominant up the middle. Frank Ragnow being gone, huge impact on that offense.
Correct.
The Eagles.
And Mahogany didn't play last week.
The Eagles are the Eagles. I got the Eagles at home.
You got the Eagles. I got the Eagles at home too. Look, it's consecutive road games, and you got to look at those numbers that the Lions put up last week. Again, who were they playing against?
And what's the weather?
What were they playing against? They were playing against
Air.
There you go. And this is going to be a tough turnaround, I think, for them to go back out and go back to play another tough physical team. And this team is physical. That's one thing about it. You watch that game Monday night against the Packers, they got after it.
Violent.
And you get Jalen Phillips really adds another presence to that pass rush up front. I didn't even think the interior guys were that dominant. And we know Jalen Carter's capable of being that. So I think this is a spot where the Eagles find a way to win this game. They need to do more offensively, by the way. I'm going to put that out there. They're another team that needs to do some things on early downs to kind of dictate tempo. You're being dictated too. I know you want to give the ball to Barkley. You can throw it on first down and run it on second down. You can throw it on first down and run it on second down. You're allowed to do that.
Novel concept.
Oh,
Pete.
my God. But everybody's all caught up in, everybody's playing off coverage, and if they...
We got to get to second and 6 before we...
Right. And then if you throw an incompletion on first down, oh no, we'll get the running game going because we're going to get a manageable third down, so it ends up being 3rd and 7. Is that manageable? What the hell is wrong with these guys?
Also, what is Lane Johnson made out of? Because I saw him get rolled up. I watched his knee get jacked up in the game. And then he's back on the field. And then they said it's not a knee, it's an ankle. I mean, the guy's made of rubber. It's
Silly
unbelievable.
I want a lot of guys like him on my team.
Oh, yeah. Win a lot of games that way.
If the Lions do win this game, then that would mean the winner of that NFC West showdown, Seahawks-Rams, would be in the 1 position come this time next week in the NFC. All right, Sunday, game day recap. Pete Prisco, and the crew, recapping everything that they saw earlier on in the day. Pete, Damian Harris, Rand Carthon, hosted by our Haley Sutton.
Rand didn't make it last week. He was on IR last week.
All right, how's this for a Monday nighter?
Ooh, legacy programs.
Cowboys rating. This is the Cowboys' first game since making those trades for Quinnen Williams and Logan Wilson. They are 3.5-point favorites in Vegas, where they might have maybe more fans than the Raiders. It'll be interesting.
It will be interesting. Look, getting Quinnen Williams is a good move for the Cowboys. I just don't know if it's a great move for this year because they're in such a hole and they have so many problems on that defense. But he's going to help them. He's a good player against the run. He can push the pocket. And when you look at the Raiders, I don't think the Raiders are very good. They haven't played very well. And Geno Smith has not played well at all. And so from that standpoint, look, Bowers is back. That's tough to defend him. I get it, but I'm going to take the Cowboys because I think Dak Prescott will put up some big numbers in this game.
Yeah, I'm going to be taking the Cowboys as well. Offensively, you can't argue with the fact that, for the most part, Dak Prescott shows up and does his job. And we were talking about some of the moves. Logan Wilson in particular is one that doesn't jump off the screen. But to me, I played against Logan Wilson. He wore a C on his chest in Cincinnati. He was a captain at one point. I know he wasn't the guy for them this year, but to bring a guy like that into your locker room, it's a big-time culture move. You talked about Quinnen Williams as well. The way that guy practices, the way that he prepares, the way that he plays the run, I think it bleeds into everybody else on that defense. And you hear the defensive line coach this week talk about having a star like that is really no nonsense. And all ball, that matters. I've got the Cowboys in this one.
Sports line percentage chance for the Cowboys to make the playoffs right now? Guess.
3%.
7.
8. Kyle wins.
Well, he won.
8% chance for the Dallas Cowboys to make it. Got to start right now and got to put a long winning streak together, and the schedule is not easy. Recapping the prime time and international picks, and it's agreements all over the board.
Wow.
Kyle, you want to jump on that over Commanders Dolphins as well? Join Pete?
No? I think I'm good. I'm going to stay under with that one. Dolphins scored too much last
Overseas.
That's not good. That's not good.
Best bets.
Not for business.
We're tied, Chris.
How am
I got that going for me. Yeah, you were so good with your best bets last.
How are you below the producer?
That's crazy.
Well, because they're exotic. They get exotic.
Very exotic.
Is it this week?
A lot of ball left.
It is somewhat exotic this week. It's never normal.
Okay.
Ever. But Pete, we will give you the floor. What is your best bet for this week in the NFL?
Who is my best bet? Oh, I don't even know.
This is wild.
You want me to give it to you?
It's right here.
The Browns.
It's right here.
Oh, the Browns. I don't have it on my paper. I got the next one.
Do you know how many points the Browns are getting?
8.5.
8.5. That's right. Browns 8.5 against the Ravens. You feel that strongly?
I worry about teams that play back-to-back road games. You know I worry about that. And I think that the Browns will hang around. That defense is really good, by the way. And I think they'll hang around in the game. I'll take the 8.5.
My best bet is Bengals Steelers over 49.5.
Yes, let's go.
It's got to get loose, dude. Has to.
You hinted at that early in the show.
Has to get loose.
That's what they call tease in the business. That was
well,
well
I mean,
done.
Go look what the Bengals defense does every week.
I agree with you. I think that game will get loose.
Has to.
That's why that's my best bet as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's go.
What?
Tag teaming it.
No, we can't have that. You can't have the same best bet.
That's the one I want.
But
that's my best bet.
Who put it in first?
He did, but it's still my best bet.
You're going to have to come up with something else.
No, that's my best bet.
That's the rules.
Man. Come on.
You didn't hear the rules?
No, Jack said that it's good to go.
Best bet, Jamar Chase, 42 targets.
By the way, when that game is 14-10 late in the fourth quarter, I'll text both of you, okay?
Okay.
Just leave me alone.
Hey, we have another pick for that game from the producers.
Okay. This ought to be good, by the way.
Bengals second half team total over 10.5, and they get plus money on that, Peter. Plus 102.
Second half.
Wait, their second half team total's only 10.5.
That is strange. How is that possible?
That can't be.
Where do they find these?
That should be like a fourth quarter total for the.
Right. That can't be a second half.
Is this real? Have we vetted this?
I don't.
It's real, and it's spectacular.
And you know what? That's a winner. Because think about it, if they're behind, they're going to have to throw.
Pete, you want to take that one instead?
No, I don't want.
We can all have
we can't have double up.
Joe Flacco passing touchdowns.
You're a rule violator. Double up.
I'm the violator.
You're dummy double up.
Just switch to Flacco's passing touchdown.
I would call you dummy double up, but I think you know Quinnen Williams on the Cowboys.
That's crazy.
Pete's the only one going outside of that Bengals-Steelers game. Plus 8.5 against Lamar and the Ravens.
That number doesn't sound right on the producer.
It really doesn't. That is very surprising.
Fake.
All right, so only 2 teams on buys. The Colts, who are still in the 1 seed spot in the AFC, and also the Saints.
They better have Jonathan Taylor in a cryo chamber.
Yeah.
Like they had Bane before they released him.
Well, he carries a lot. He
Yeah.
carries the football a lot. Carried it, 32 times?
But Pete believes that the New England Patriots might end up with that number 1 seed.
Schedule, favorable
For all
schedule.
is said and done.
Easiest schedule.
Yep, favorable.
For Pete Prisco and Kyle Long, I'm Chris Hassel. Thanks for watching our Picks show, and best of luck to you.